My mom saw that I still hadn't found a girlfriend even after finishing kindergarten. She actually arranged 5 childhood engagements for me in one go, telling me that when I grew up, I could choose one of the 5 daughters from the wealthy Su family to be my fiancée. When the 5 young ladies of the Su family found out, they were all very reluctant, because in the photo I was dark and chubby. I looked like a total country bumpkin. None of them wanted to throw themselves into the tiger's den. At that moment, 3 luxury cars pulled up in front of a shabby small town. 5 exquisite and beautiful women got out of the cars respectively. This scene was really pleasing to the eye. As soon as they got out of the cars, the 5th sister, Su Xiaoxiao, spoke up in disgust. Gross. What a terrible place. It's really dirty and hot. The 4th sister, Su Xinyan, also complained unhappily, yeah, I'm really fed up. Dad, why let a hick choose one of us to be his fiancé? And we even have to come pick him up to Jiangcheng in person. There was dissatisfaction in all 5 of their expressions. If it weren't for Father Su threatening them with his life, they would never have come to a place like this. All right, go knock on the door. The one speaking was the eldest sister, Su Wanrong. A trace of displeasure also showed on her stunning face. Su Xiaoxiao stepped forward and knocked on the door. Half an hour later, the door was finally opened. The man in front had clear and 3-dimensional facial features. His eyes were deep and bright. His temperament was even more noble than theirs. Su Xiaoxiao was stunned. Hello. We're looking for Jiang Yichen. Is he here? I am Jiang Yichen. I looked at the several people in front of me, then spoke lazily. Please wait a moment. I'll go get my luggage. I turned around and left. All of them were a bit surprised. Wow. He's completely different from what Dad showed us. What Father Su had shown the 5 of them was a photo of Jiang Yichen when he was a teenager. They never expected that in just a few years. He would have changed so much. At this time, the 2nd sister, Su Luoli, teased, Do you like him? Then let him choose you as his fiancé. Su Xiaoxiao turned around. I don't want to. What's the use of being handsome? He's still a country bumpkin. Is that so? Don't worry. I won't. Take a fancy to a little girl like you who hasn't even fully grown up. My indifferent voice came from behind. After that, I ignored Su Xiaoxiao's expression that looked like she'd eaten poop, picked up my luggage and got in the car directly. I got into the first car. The one driving was the eldest sister, Su Wanrong. There were only 2 people in the car. I didn't say a word. I turned my head to look out the window, my heart filled with mixed emotions. My mother left when I was a child. My father and I had lived in this small town for many years. 2 months ago, my father passed away due to illness. His wish was that I could marry a good wife. I had known for a long time that my father and his good friend Father Su had arranged this marriage. I had always been very resistant to it, but since it was my father's last wish, I could only agree to go to the Su family. The journey was silent. We arrived in Jiangcheng. The car stopped in front of a luxurious villa. I followed the 5 of them inside. I saw a noble lady sitting on the sofa. As soon as Su Xiaoxiao got home, she complained, Mom, we're back. I'm so tired. Mother Su quickly asked the maid to prepare some tea, then turned her gaze to me, who was walking at the end. She looked me up and down, and found that I wasn't as ugly and chubby as in the photo. On the contrary, I was very handsome. Mother Su sneered and said, You must be Jiang Yichen, right? You even had plastic surgery just to marry one of our Su family's daughters. You really went to a lot of trouble. This marriage was arranged by Father Su back then. No one in the entire Su family was satisfied with it, but they couldn't go against Father Su. I looked at Mother Su and said calmly, Auntie, I didn't have plastic surgery. Mother Su snorted coldly. Then she saw the butler carrying my luggage in from the car. She immediately said, Butler Lee, open the box, check it. My eyes darkened. Auntie, this is my stuff. I obviously know this is your stuff. That's why it should be checked. You're from a small place? What if you brought some dirty or dangerous things to our Su family? That wouldn't be good. After saying that, Mother Su gave Butler Lee a hint with her eyes. The 5 Su sisters sat leisurely on the sofa. None of them planned to step forward to help me. Just as Butler Lee was about to make a move, I snatched the box back. No one is allowed to touch my things. Mother Su stood up, her expression showing a trace of anger. I knew you must have brought something shameful with you. I must check it today. As soon as she finished speaking, 4 or 5 bodyguards walked over. The others all put down their phones and watched this scene. They all thought I would panic and give in. But I looked calm, just as the bodyguards were about to grab my box. Stop! A deep voice came from the door. It was Father Su who had come back. He hurried over and looked at me, asking with concern, Yichen, are you okay? I'm sorry. Uncle Sue, there was a meeting at the company just now, so I just got back. Hearing this, I shook my head. Uncle Sue, it's okay. Father Sue turned to look at Mother Sue. What are you doing? Yichin just got to the house. And you treat him like this? Mother Sue gave me a disgusted look. What did I do? I just wanted to check if he brought any dirty things with him. Mother Sue huffed and dropped a sentence, then turned around and walked upstairs. Father Sue sighed. I'm sorry. Yichin. Your aunt might have some misunderstandings about you. Uncle will explain it clearly to her. I shook my head to indicate it was okay. Over the years, there have been many people who have held prejudices against me. Then I heard Father Sue tell everyone in the family. From now on, Yichin will live here. None of you are allowed to disrespect him. And you can't just watch him being bullied. The 5 of them kept silent, thinking, why does Dad like this Zhang Yichin so much? After some small talk, Father Sue took me to see my room. The room was very spacious and bright, with all kinds of daily necessities available. Yichin, are you satisfied with the room arrangement? If you don't like it, I'll have someone redecorate it for you. Thank you, Uncle. I like it very much. Looking at the man in front of me, my emotions were complicated. I had met Father Sue many times when I was a child, and he had always treated me very well. This made me can't help but think of my late father. Seeing my expression darken, Father Sue patted my shoulder and said, you must be tired from the journey. Take a good rest first. I'll call you when it's dinner time. I nodded. I went back to the room to pack my things. After dinner, Father Sue pulled me to chat on the sofa, then handed me a bank card. You can take this card. Tomorrow, let these 5 girls take you around Zhangcheng. Buy whatever you want. Uncle Sue, thank you for your kindness, but it's not necessary. As soon as I finished speaking, I caught a glimpse of Mother Sue's unhappy expression beside me. Then I heard her speak in a sarcastic tone, tsk, tsk, tsk. Who are you pretending to be noble for? Didn't you come to our Sue family just to covet that little money? Young Wanru, Father Sue said angrily. He called out Mother Sue's name. Mother Sue immediately retorted, aren't I telling the truth? Why are you yelling at me? The corner of my mouth twitched. I didn't even know how I had offended Yang Wanru. Just then, a phone beside me rang. Brother Jiang, the company made a profit of 300 million this quarter. It has been transferred to your account. I frowned. Why did you transfer another sum of money here? Soon the day passed. When I woke up the next day, Father Sue had already gone to handle company affairs. The 5 young ladies were having breakfast at the dining table. Father Sue had already told them the night before to take me around Zhangcheng today. As soon as I sat down, the eldest sister, Su Wanro's cold voice sounded. I have a meeting at the company today. Let the 4 of them take you out. After saying that, she put down her tableware, stood up and left directly. The 3rd sister, Su Jingyao, also stood up and said, I have a last-minute performance today. I have to leave first, too. The remaining 4 immediately made up excuses and left one after another. I didn't say anything more, just kept my head down and continued eating breakfast. In the evening, my phone rang. An excited voice came from the other end. Brother Jiang! Are you in Zhangcheng now? I spoke indifferently. Do you have something to do? You came to Zhangcheng and didn't even tell me. I don't care. Come out and have dinner with me right now. If you don't go, I'll go to the Sue family to find you. Half an hour later, I told the butler and left the villa alone. After having dinner with Gu Qinghan, she pestered me into going to a high-end bar. Brother Zhang, did anyone in the Sue family bully you? I twirled my wineglass. Who could bully me? Gu Qinghan smiled. That's right. It's already good that you don't bully others. Who could possibly bully you? On the surface, this man looked gentle and refined, but secretly he was a big devil. Thinking of this, Gu Qinghan continued to ask, so you really plan to get engaged to someone from the Sue family? I took a sip of wine and spoke casually. I don't know. If it weren't for my father, I would never have come to the Sue family. Now I can only take it one step at a time. The 2 of us were in the bar hall on the 1st floor, completely unaware that someone had been staring at us from a booth on the 2nd floor. That person was exactly Su Wanro. Her friend had invited her here after work. She had just sat down for a while. When she saw me walking in with a woman, there was a hint of depth in Su Wanro's eyes. Just then, her friend beside her noticed her gaze and followed it. Song Qian couldn't help but tease, our Miss Sue. Is the iron tree finally blooming? He's really handsome. Want me to go get his contact info for you? Wait, isn't that Gu Qinghan next to him? Su Wanro frowned slightly, her tone carrying a hint of doubt. Hojo-han? Sun Fai nodded. Yeah, the vice president of the mysterious Langxiang company. The reason Langxiang's so mysterious is it's a big listed company. Not only super powerful, but also almost no one knows who its chairman is behind the scenes. Gu Qinghan's been the one handling official business in person all these years. But Sister Wanro, you're way better than Gu Qinghan. You'll definitely win this handsome guy over. You talk too much. Su Wanro spoke coldly, then looked down at me again. There was a hint of curiosity in her eyes. This man had just arrived in Jiangcheng. How could he know Gu Qinghan? Su Wanro said nothing, picked up the wine on the table, and took a light sip. Just then, Gu Qinghan stood up and left her seat. Lots of women around had their eyes on me. Soon, a wealthy lady walked over to me with a wine glass. Handsome, let's be friends. Have a drink with me. I glanced at her and said indifferently, I don't need more friends. Hearing that, the lady's face froze. Then she smiled and said, Come on, just be friends. I'll cover all your bills today, how's that? No need. Seeing my indifferent expression, the lady grew a little annoyed and embarrassed. She snapped, Don't be ungrateful. I have money and power. Watch it, you might not get out of this door today. Upstairs, Su Wanro was watching every move down here. Song Qian across from her noticed her expression too, and teased, Sister Wanro, that lady's not someone just anyone can mess with. Looks like your catch is gonna get taken by someone else. Su Wanro frowned, stood up and got ready to go downstairs. She planned to reveal her identity to help me in a minute, but just as she stood up, a dramatic scene happened. The lady raised her hand, about to slap me. I knocked her hand away with a backhand. No sound reached the second floor, but Su Wanro could read lips. I said word by word, I don't want your face. Want me to take your life instead. My voice was arrogant and overbearing. Right then, Gu Qinghan came out of the bathroom too. The lady knew who she was, and couldn't help but jump in fright. She quickly apologized and left, scared I might really kill her. My mood was ruined, and I had no interest in staying any longer. After saying goodbye to Gu Qinghan, I left the bar. I ordered a ride on my phone, then sat casually by the roadside waiting. I lit a cigarette, looked up at the sky, and felt the moon wasn't as round as it used to be. Just then, a black Maybach pulled up in front of me. I thought it was the ride I'd ordered, so I put out the cigarette in the trash can, opened the door and was about to get in, but there was still a woman sitting in the back seat. Why is it you? Only then did I notice. The woman in the car was Su Wanro. Her cold voice said, Get in. I hesitated for a second, then sat down next to her. I felt an inexplicable guilt at running into Su Wanro here. What a coincidence. I came here to hang out with a friend. Were you here too? Su Wanro nodded faintly, saying nothing. I turned to look out the window. Su Wanro was at this bar too. Had she seen me earlier? Or was this just a coincidence when she came out? The ride was silent. In the end, neither of us asked the question we had in our hearts. When we got home and just walked in, we heard Mother Sue's sarcastic voice coming from the sofa. You just got to Jiangcheng, and the next day you're out late. Who knows which woman you were fooling around with? How could a man like this marry our Su family's daughter? After she finished, Father Su frowned. He trusted my character, but he was worried about my safety, and was just about to call to check on me. When Su Wanro and I walked in, Oh, so it's Wanro and Yichen together? Su Wanro said nothing, nor did she deny it. Father Su smiled and said, Yichen, regarding the marriage, Uncle Su plans to let you spend time with each of my 5 daughters in turn. Later, you can decide who you think is suitable, and then we'll finalize the matter. Is that okay? I nodded. Okay, Uncle Su. Although Mother Su was dissatisfied, she knew no one could change Father Su's decision. She could only give me a displeased glance. Early the next morning, I was woken up by a knock on the door. I opened the door with a bad case of morning grumpiness, and saw Su Wanro at the door. Get ready and come to the company with me, the woman said. What are we going to the company for? I asked. Oh, right. Father Su asked me to spend one day with each person in turn. Today starts with the eldest sister, Su Wanro. Getting ready took half an hour. I got in the car listlessly and went to the company with Su Wanro. Just then, the woman beside me said seriously and firmly, Jiang Yichen, I agreed to spend time with you only because of Dad, but I will never like you, and you don't need to get to know me either. I looked up at the woman in the driver's seat, feeling a little more alert. I asked playfully, "Is that so? But from what I've observed these 2 days, you're the one I like the most. What should I do?" A hint of displeasure flashed in the woman's eyes. She said coldly, "I advise you not to waste your efforts." I smiled and said no more. When we arrived at the company, Su Wanro and I got out of the car one after another. Immediately, all the passing employees turned their eyes to us. "Wow, who's that handsome guy next to the CEO? He's so handsome. From his aura, he must be a young master from a wealthy family too. He and CEO Su make such a perfect match." For a moment, everyone was talking. Su Wanro handed her keys to the security guard at the booth. I took a step forward, then suddenly froze. I said in surprise, "Uncle Lin." The uncle in a security guard uniform looked up and smiled too. "Oh, Xiaochen, what are you doing here?" Su Wanro looked at me in confusion, but I just waved my hand. "You go up first. I'll help Uncle Lin park the car." The Su family's bodyguards were watching my every move. They all thought this country bumpkin would stick to Su Wanro the whole time he was at the company. But to their surprise, I chatted with the security guard at the booth all morning. Everyone had a mocking look, typical of someone from a small place. They only mix with people of the same lowly status. No wonder they can chat for a whole morning. Yeah, I bet that Uncle Lin is from his hometown too. What's the use of being handsome? He's still so uncultured? I was completely unaware of everyone's remarks. After Uncle Lin's shift ended, we went to a nearby restaurant together. Uncle Lin smiled. He wasn't one to gossip, and it was only that morning that I told him why I had come to the company. "Xiaochen, I've met all 5 of the Su girls. If you ask me, Su Wanro is the most outstanding one. Since she took over the company these years, she's secured many big projects. She's steady and excellent. You should consider her first." I took a sip of water and immediately looked resistant. No. Uncle Lin, what's there to consider about an iceberg like her? In my eyes, Su Wanro is just so cold. What I said this morning was just to annoy her. Uncle Lin laughed loudly. Then we started talking about the other Su sisters. After lunch, we went back to the company. I still stayed at the security booth for the whole afternoon. After the afternoon meeting, Su Wanro asked her assistant, and when she found out I was still at the security booth, she frowned slightly. "This man said this morning that he liked me the most, but now that he's at the company, he stayed at the security booth all day. What kind of trick is he playing?" Su Wanro sat at her desk. After a 2-second silence, she said, "Look into Uncle Lin's background and what his relationship with Jiang Yichen is. Also call Jiang Yichen up here." "Yes, CEO Su." After the assistant left, I came up a moment later. I glanced around Su Wanro's office, then asked lazily, "What's the matter?" "You've stayed at the security booth all day. Dad will think it's inappropriate." Hearing this, I felt a little speechless. "Fine, you're the one who asked me to come up. Don't blame me if I disturb you." After saying that, I sat down on the sofa. Su Wanro ignored me and picked up the documents to continue working. But on the sofa, I was playing games on my phone, and the volume was turned up to the maximum. Su Wanro frowned slightly. 8 minutes later, I started yelling at my teammates. "Why do you feed the enemy more than a food delivery guy delivers food? Use your hands, bro. Stop playing with your feet. You're just a minion that can respawn." Su Wanro was speechless. His way of insulting people was quite elegant. Just then, the person I was yelling at started yelling back, hurling insults every word. At this moment, Su Wanro finally regretted bringing me to the office. Was this man simply here to torture her? She began to doubt if I really liked her the most, or if I hated her the most. No, the one I hate the most should be the youngest sister. Thankfully, the game ended, and Su Wanro also finished her work. She picked up her coat, called me, and we left. As soon as we reached the door, the assistant came back. Su Wanro looked at me and said, "Go wait for me in the garage first." Then she watched me leave. Inside the office, the assistant reported the investigation results. "CEO, Uncle Lin's identity is indeed extraordinary. He owns many houses and office buildings in the city center of Jiangcheng. Simply put, he's a landlord worth billions. He only works as a security guard because he's bored and has nothing better to do. As for what his relationship with Mr. Jiang is, I haven't found out yet." Hearing this, Su Wanro fell into thought for 2 seconds. How could Jiang Yichen know someone like that in Jiangcheng? Plus Gu Qinghan last night, Su Wanro vaguely felt that I was not simple, but she didn't think too much about it. It had nothing to do with her. She just needed to confirm that Uncle Lin had no bad intentions. When we got home, the living room was very lively. The other 4 Sue sisters were on the sofa, and there was also a man around my age. He was wearing a black suit and looked like a young master from a rich family. Wanro, you're back. Come sit down quickly. An Yicheng just returned to the country today. He came right after getting off the plane. He stood up with a smile and greeted Su Wanro. Su Wanro replied, faintly, and Yicheng looked a little disappointed, then turned to me. He smiled and said, "You must be Zhang Yichen, right?" "Hello, I'm An Yicheng. I grew up with Wanro and the other 4 sisters. We'll be brothers from now on. If you get bored in Jiangcheng, you can come find me to hang out." Earlier, An Yicheng had heard from their chat that I was handsome, but he didn't expect me to be this handsome. I had already seen through the man's petty thoughts, and only replied faintly, "Okay." Just then, Father Su also came back. The An family and the Su family were family friends for generations, so Father Su treated An Yicheng very politely. Everyone was enjoying a harmonious atmosphere. I sat casually on the side waiting for dinner. Just then, Mother Su said, "Oh, right. Yicheng, I knew you were coming back a few days ago, so I went shopping specially and bought a lot of things. Auntie will go upstairs to get them for you." After saying that, she went upstairs. When she came down, she asked Father Su unhappily, "Where's that box in my cabinet?" "How would I know?" Father Su asked back. "Did any of you take it?" Mother Su looked at her 5 daughters. Seeing all of them shake their heads, An Yicheng said cautiously, "Auntie, could it have been stolen?" "Who has the guts to do that? Whoever took it, hand it over now. It's still not too late to get out of the Su family. Otherwise, you'll wait to go to jail." When no one admitted it, Mother Su immediately snapped at the housekeeper. "Search every room thoroughly, one by one." I was playing with my phone, and when I heard this, I suddenly became interested. An hour later, the housekeeper took people to search the maids' rooms, but found no trace of the missing item. "Madam, apart from the maids' rooms, we haven't searched Mr. Jiang's room yet." Housekeeper Li hesitated and said, At this moment, a maid also stepped forward. "Madam, yesterday when we were talking about the surveillance being broken, Mr. Jiang happened to pass by, and in the afternoon, I also saw him coming out of your room." Her words clearly implied that I knew the surveillance was broken, and that I had even been to Mother Sue's room. Hearing this, Mother Sue's face flushed with anger. "Jiang Yiken, no wonder you refused Uncle Sue's card yesterday, pretending to be noble on the surface. But doing such despicable things behind our backs, huh? Housekeeper, go search his room right now." Father Su immediately stepped forward. "That's nonsense. How could Yichen be that kind of person? Why not? Su Xiuan, how well do you think you know him? People from small places like him. There's nothing they wouldn't do. Besides, he was the only one at home yesterday afternoon.
He can't escape suspicion."
I remained calm. "It's okay. Uncle Su, let them search." Since the incident began, I had already realized this was a plot against me. As for who the mastermind was, I knew I would find out soon. The maids went to my room, while the Su family members stayed on the sofa, watching the show. I looked at the maid who had accused me and asked in a cold voice, "What's your name?" I had never entered Mother Sue's room. Why would this person falsely accuse me for no reason? The maid didn't understand why I asked, but still replied, "My name is Jiang Ting." Soon the housekeeper came down and reported, "Sir, madam, we found these things in Mr. Jiang's room. Inside a black plastic bag was a jade bracelet, exactly the item Mother Su had lost." Everyone was shocked. They actually found the thing in Jiang Yichen's room. "Su Xiuan, what else do you have to say? Look at the man you found for our daughter. Not only is he from a small place, but he also has sticky fingers." Mother Su was furious. "It can't be Yichen who did this." Father Su insisted firmly. "Yeah, could there be some misunderstanding?" And Yicheng also put on a fake concerned act beside them. Just then, Su Wanro stepped forward. "Mom, Dad, let Uncle An come to check the fingerprints. If Jiang Yichen did this, there must be his fingerprints on the jewelry." Father Su nodded and called Officer An from the police station. Mother Su glanced at Father Su and said through gritted teeth, "If Jiang Yichen stole it, the engagement must be called off. And he has to leave the Su family." "I didn't steal it," I said. I thought carefully. There seemed to be a layer of film on my bedroom doorknob yesterday, but it was gone today. The fingerprints on the bracelet were probably from that film. Mother Su snorted coldly. "The evidence is right in front of you." What other excuse do you have? I looked at Mother Sue and said, don't worry. I have a way to prove my innocence. Auntie, can I borrow this bracelet for a moment? No one understood what I meant, but I remained calm and composed. I picked up the bracelet from the table and put it on my wrist. I held out my hand, and under the light, the wrist with the jade bracelet immediately became red and swollen. Itching and discomfort overwhelmed me, but I acted as if I didn't care. I chuckled and said, Auntie, this jade is really nice. With my constitution, the better the jade, the more severe the allergy. Father Sue hurried to speak. Silly boy. Knowing you're allergic to jade, why did you still touch it? Take it off quickly. I gave Mother Sue a cold smile. These symptoms won't go away for at least 3 days. So I didn't steal the bracelet? Mother Sue still refused to back down. Maybe you took it with gloves on. I smiled and said, if I wore gloves, how would my fingerprints end up on the bracelet? Mother Sue was left tongue-tied. I get allergic the moment I touch jade, and I had no such symptoms on my hands before. Anyone with eyes can see now. This is a frame-up against me. Then I spoke lazily. All right, I've explained myself. Auntie, now I want to ask you, why did you transfer 200,000 yuan to Zhang Ting yesterday? Both Zhang Ting and Mother Sue's expressions changed. What nonsense are you talking about? I pulled out a picture from my phone. It was a bank statement showing Mother Sue's account transferring money to Zhang Ting. I knew a maid had no reason to frame me for no reason. She must have been bribed. Sure enough, after I asked Zhang Ting for her name, I checked her bank records. It turned out this whole thing was a farce staged by Mother Sue herself. Looking at the bank statement, everyone was shocked, seemingly realizing the whole story. Only Su Wanro had a hint of confusion in her eyes. How did this man get hold of this bank statement? Mother Sue stammered an explanation. Zhang Ting's mother is sick at home. She asked me to advance her salary. Father Sue sighed. I was there when Zhang Ting applied for the job. She's an orphan. Yichen, I promise I'll give you an explanation for this, he said, then turned to Su Wanro. First take Yishan to the hospital to treat his hand. I nodded and left with Su Wanro. As soon as I opened the car door, I heard the woman's cold voice say, I'm sorry. I paused for a moment, then realized she was apologizing to me on behalf of Mother Su Yang Wanru. It's fine, I smiled again. You must be disappointed, right? If this scheme had worked, I would have been able to leave the Su family. Oh, and before that, did you think I did it? Su Wanro shook her head. No, you don't seem that stupid. I curled my lips. Yeah, becoming the Su family's son-in-law. What's this lousy stuff compared to that? I'm not that stupid. We arrived at the hospital without another word. After taking the prescription from the doctor, we went to the pharmacy to get the medicine. I sat on a nearby chair waiting. Soon after, Su Wanro came back. Give me your hand, she said. I held out my hand. Su Wanro took out the medicine box, then applied the medicine to my wound. It hurts? The cool, slightly stinging sensation spread through my mind. Of course it hurt a little, but I still had a smile on my face. Su Wanro, you seem cold on the surface, but you're actually quite thoughtful. I think I like you more and more now. Hearing my teasing words, Su Wanro's face turned pink. She cleared her throat a few times and said seriously, I told you before, I won't like you. I smiled. It's fine. I was just joking, of course. I need to observe all 5 of the Su sisters carefully. However, watching my retreating figure, Su Wanro felt a strange, unfamiliar feeling rise in her heart. We left the hospital. By this time, Father Su and Mother Su were already having a terrible argument in their room. Young Wanru Yichen just arrived at the Su family a few days ago. Why do you have to target him like this? He's just a kid. Yang Wanru gave a cold laugh. It's all because of you. Su Xiuan, why did you bring Zhang Yichen to the Su family? I told you a long time ago. I already made an engagement with Yichen's father back then, Yang Wanru said angrily. That's all just an excuse, isn't it? Is it because you once liked Zhang Hanxiao? Su Xiuan's face froze instantly. He and Zhang Yichen's father had been good friends in school. Both of them had been outstanding talents back then. Later they met the youthful and beautiful Zhang Hanxiao, who was my mother. Both of them had fallen in love with her and had agreed to pursue her fairly. Su Xiuan, relying on the Su family's prominent status, had made an engagement with the Zhang family. But in the end, Zhang Hanxiao had chosen Zhang Yichen's father and even eloped with him. Yang Wanru continued, all these years, have you never stopped thinking about Zhang Hanxiao? Is that why you brought her son to our house? And treated him so well. I hit the mark, didn't I? Su Shiyuan sighed, took Yang Wanru's hand and said, No, Hang Xiao's matter has been over for years. Now you're the only one in my heart. Yang Wanru looked at Su Shiyuan and asked, Then why do you treat Jiang Yichen so well? Su Shiyuan's face turned sad. Do you know? Back then, Yichen's father and I attended a charity event together. We were suddenly attacked by terrorists. He took a bullet for me, which left his left leg disabled. All these years, he had to live in that small town with Yichen. Before he passed away, Yichen's father asked me to take good care of Yichen. Yang Wanru's expression froze instantly. Su Shiyuan sank into that long-ago memory. By the time Su Wanru and I got home, we saw Su Shiyuan and Yang Wanru as soon as we entered the living room. Somehow, Yang Wanru actually apologized to me sincerely. I didn't dwell on it further, and went upstairs to rest. I had just finished taking a shower when someone knocked on my door. It was Yang Wanru. I looked at her in confusion. Is something wrong, Auntie? Auntie wants to talk to you, she said, after we sat down in the room. Yang Wanru said straight to the point, Jiang Yichen. I now accept you staying in our Su family. I also agree to let you marry one of my daughters, but among the 5 of them, you cannot choose Su Wanru. Hearing this, I paused slightly, then asked, Why? Wanru is my most outstanding daughter. I already have a suitable candidate for her husband, so stay away from her. Her words made it clear I wasn't good enough. That suitable candidate was probably An Yicheng. I see, I said. Auntie Yang Wanru said nothing more, and left the room. The next morning when I woke up, it was time for me to spend the day with the second Su sister, Su Luoli. Su Luoli was the vice president of the Su group. She didn't get along well with the eldest sister, Su Wanru, and rumor had it she liked to oppose Su Wanru. As soon as we got in the car, Su Luoli asked me, How was your time with Wanru yesterday? I replied casually, It was okay. Hearing this, she added, Let me tell you, the eldest sister isn't a good person at all. She's ruthless, unfeeling. You mustn't choose her. A hint of amusement flashed in my eyes. Then I'll choose you. Su Luoli froze for a moment, then laughed awkwardly. Don't be silly. Upon arriving at the company, Su Luoli got busy with work, while I spent another day at the security booth. It wasn't until the 3rd day that I spent time with the 3rd sister, Su Jingyao. Su Jingyao was a top-tier celebrity in the entertainment industry with tens of millions of fans. Today happened to be her birthday, as well as the 10th anniversary of her debut. She spent the whole day rehearsing for the evening concert and had no time for me at all. I had just woken up from a nap and gone downstairs when I saw An Yicheng walking towards me with a smile. We're planning to go to the mall to look around, buy some clothes, and pick up a gift for Jingyao, by the way. He said, Come with us. I thought about it and didn't refuse, so I left with them. When we got to the mall, An Yicheng pulled me into a branded suit store. Yishin, you're so handsome. You'll definitely look great in a suit, he said. The 4 women were all waiting at the door. An Yicheng glanced outside, then picked up a dark green suit from the rack. This one looks nice. Why not try it on? I looked at the suit. It had a very outdated style. Seeing I didn't speak, An Yicheng picked up another one. An even uglier suit. What about this one? I narrowed my eyes slightly. An Yicheng, if you don't like me, you don't have to pretend to be nice. And you certainly don't need to do it this way. I may be from a small town, but my taste is no worse than yours. Yichen, did you misunderstand me? An Yicheng's face turned a little ugly. Indeed, he'd thought I was a country bumpkin, who definitely didn't understand fashion, and only wore plain t-shirts on a regular basis. But to his surprise, I ignored him. I casually glanced at the suits in the store, then told the clerk to wrap up all the ones I liked. Just as I took out my phone to pay, Su Wanru handed over a black card and said to the cashier, Swipe this. I thanked her calmly. Upon hearing this, Su Wanru said indifferently, Don't misunderstand. It was my dad's order. With that, she turned and left. I felt a little speechless behind her. When An Yicheng saw this, he couldn't help but clench his fingers, a hint of malice flashing in his eyes. After walking out of the mall, the 2 bodyguards behind us could barely carry all the shopping bags. Su Xiao, standing beside us, said sarcastically, Some people really have no shame, spending so much money on so many things. Su Xiao was just taking revenge on me. She'd been holding a grudge ever since I said she was still too young. Before I could respond, An Yicheng chimed in, Xiao, how can you say that? You can just bought a few random things. Random things? I snorted coldly. Did you pay for any of it? Su Xiaoxiao's face froze. That was my eldest sister's money. I gave her a sharp look. Right? Your eldest sister's money? She didn't say a word. What are you rambling on about here? After saying that, I got in the car right away. Su Xiaoxiao's face turned pale with anger again. She was still complaining about me while sitting in the car. She rolled her eyes in annoyance. I have more money than I can spend. The key is, I need to be given a chance to spend it too. Night came quickly. After dinner, I packed up briefly, then went to the concert with the others. As soon as we took our seats, An Yicheng quickly took the seat next to Su Wanro. I didn't care at all. I sat down next to Su Luoli. The concert started soon after. Su Jingyao walked onto the stage. She was wearing a white formal dress. As a top-tier celebrity, her looks were truly solid. The audience below erupted in cheers. My ears were almost ringing from the noise. Over the next hour, Su Jingyao sang several songs. Then came the next segment. The host walked onto the stage slowly. He spoke up today. Marks Jingyao's 10th anniversary in the industry. We've prepared a surprise segment for everyone. Next, we will randomly select a lucky fan to come on stage and sing a duet with Jingyao. The audience broke into thunderous applause. The fans were so excited their voices were almost hoarse. The numbers spinning on the stage finally stopped at 26. Su Luoli, who was beside me, said in amazement, "Unbelievable. Zhang Yichen, number 26 is you." I paused for a moment. Then the host on stage already spoke up. "Let's welcome fan number 26 to the stage." I narrowed my eyes slightly. How could it be such a coincidence? I glanced at the few people beside me. I could see the schadenfreude in An Yicheng's eyes. It was impossible to hide. I immediately understood someone wanted to see me make a fool of myself. The corner of my mouth curved slightly. I walked onto the stage slowly. When Su Jingyao saw who it was, she was somewhat shocked. "It's actually Zhang Yichen." The host laughed and said, "Wow, what a handsome guy. May I have your name, please?" I spoke calmly, "Zhang Yichen." As soon as I said that, the people below were stunned. It's that Zhang Yichen who's engaged to the Su family. He's actually this handsome... Wow, half the people here are Su Jingyao's boyfriend fans. At that moment, everyone was whispering among themselves. The way they looked at me, you couldn't have asked for more jealousy. All right, the song we're going to cover next is Beizhi's Good Night. Beidi is a popular singer, but she's very mysterious. No one has ever seen what she looks like. However, her songs have become popular all over the world. At this point, the host had already handed me a microphone. I pressed my lips together. I said, "I'm tone deaf. I can't sing." "I'm sorry." The audience below started murmuring, "Get off the stage. Stop standing next to my goddess. You're embarrassing to look at. Get off the stage, Zhang Yichen." I narrowed my eyes slightly. I knew those who wanted to see me humiliated must be feeling extremely pleased right now, but actually, I love ruining people's smug moments.